from the station working for you. This is WRTV News at 6, streaming now.
A huge COVID-19 surge. Now one of the biggest hospital systems in the state is requesting help from the Indiana National Guard. Tonight, Rafael Sanchez goes one-on-one with the governor about this situation.
We find ourselves in this fifth surge, depending on how you count. It's the fifth surge. And hospitals are being overrun. 95% of those hospitalizations, those census numbers, are unvaccinated individuals.
First at 6, IU Health is requesting help from the Indiana National Guard as hospitalizations increase across the state amid the latest COVID-19 surge.
Plus, working for you, we're digging to see what's being done to help prevent these hospitalizations in the first place.
Team coverage tonight investigating all of these issues. We begin tonight with WRTV's Stephanie Wade.
Yeah, she spoke to IU Health and the National Guard about how they hope to alleviate the strain on hospital staff.
Tonight, IU Health says the demand and strain on their staff is greater than ever. They've brought in all of their employees, recruited as many traveling nurses as they can, they say, but it's still not enough. Now enlisting help from the Indiana National Guard.
Hospital beds and monitors don't feel, but I mean, we are tired. Our people are incredibly tired. We were watching the numbers go down, and to have them turn back around and start going up again is just about the most disheartening thing that I can imagine. And people are really, really, really tired of this. I think, you know, you can only do this so long before it just becomes draining.
As hospitalizations for both COVID and non-COVID patients reach all-time highs, IU Health officials have now asked for assistance from the National Guard for most of their 16 hospitals, except Riley Children's Health. 6-person National Guard teams will include 2 medics who help with vital sign collection, assisting nurses with IVs and blood collections, and 4 non-clinical service members who will work on the more administrative and logistical side, assisting with room cleaning, delivering food trays, paperwork, and restocking supplies. This isn't the first time the Indiana National Guard has stepped in the help in the fight against COVID-19, working at hospitals, nursing homes, testing and vaccination sites all throughout the pandemic.
We think of it as our members supporting our communities and really have stepped up for an extended period of time, much longer than you would think of a typical deployment opportunity, but stepped up for a long period of time to be there for Hoosiers and for our friends and family in the community.
Of the 36,000 employees IU Health has across the state, 125 people left over the vaccine mandate, only minimally impacting their staffing issues, Dr. Chris Weaver says. Right now, we're seeing the most hospitalizations for COVID-19 since January. Case numbers have increased to their highest levels since last winter, which is just what Dr. Paul Calkins suspected.
As to why we're probably seeing another surge, coronavirus has turned out to be very seasonal viruses. It's very common. You remember the last surge peaked really about the same time we expect this one to peak.
When it gets cold, he says, it starts affecting people more because they're indoors. He doesn't expect us to see the spike of this surge for another 3 weeks, while several thousand elective surgeries, he says, are being delayed right now because of COVID.
That's a very genuine concern. I mean, pretty much all of our emergency departments have people who are holding in them because there's no room in the hospital at the moment.
Stephanie Wade, WRTV.
Teams are slated to help hospitals for 1 week, but can be extended for longer. The National Guard has already arrived in Muncie at IU Ball Memorial Hospital and will arrive at other hospitals next week.
The latest COVID numbers show a spike in cases as towns, cities, schools, and employers respond with a patchwork of do's and don'ts. Today, the governor addressed what he calls the 5th surge in COVID cases and the role of the National Guard in assisting hospitals and nursing home facilities. Rafael Sanchez sat down with Governor Holcomb in his office.
The increase of COVID cases statewide being monitored by the governor's office and his administration. The office is well aware of the vital services that National Guardsmen are providing across the state, including the recent request by IU Health asking for the help of Guardsmen.
These men and women, remember, in the Guard, have another job, have a family still at home. And so they're not just being sent around the world, they're being sent around the state due to, in large part, people making a conscious decision not to take care of themselves.
The governor's other big concern is that most people being treated currently in the hospital for COVID-19 are among the unvaccinated. Working for you at the State House, Rafael Sanchez, WRTV.
Members of the legislature are expected to take up COVID-19 related issues when they return to the State House in January.
We just have to keep at it. It's frustrating. It's frustrating for everyone.
A rise in COVID-19 infections and a taxed hospital system, things we've been talking about for nearly 2 years, but a recent surge in COVID-19 cases has us here at WRTV wondering what conversations are being had at area health departments when it comes to mitigation efforts on stopping the spread. Our Caitlin Kendall is working to uncover the answer.
Bottom line is vaccinations. I mean, we're sitting at about 52% ages 5 and older in Madison County, and we can do better than that.
With a recent surge in COVID-19 infections across the nation, Madison County Health Administrator Stephanie Mellinger pushing the need for their residents to get vaccinated.
It's occurring in 95% of people who are unvaccinated. So those people who are in our hospitals, less than 5% are vaccinated.
Madison County, like many counties across the state, are seeing a rise in cases, but what's being done to curb the spread?
Remember to get vaccinated, wash your hands, keep your distance, all those things that we've been saying for nearly 2 years. It's still important.
Are you just saying get the vaccine as hospitals are continuing to filling up? Or are there any other mitigation effort conversations that Madison County is having?
We're trying to communicate that very message. Look, our hospitals are filling up. Our healthcare system is taxed. We all have a role to play.
Mellinger says communication is key.
We are still trying to encourage people to wash your hands, distance, make sure you keep that safe distance between people. Stay in your social bubble. Try to limit how many people you're around, if at all possible. Masking when you're indoors and around many people. We can't forget that.
Adding they are still trying to share the same messages they were back when the pandemic began.
You know, we try to remind people like, look, this is still an issue. I guess more than anything, it's communication.
She says they've been getting creative, using social media to spread awareness, conversing with the hospitals, and educating people when they come into their building.
We just have to keep at it. It's frustrating. It's frustrating for everyone.
Working for you, Caitlin Kendall, WRTV.
We did reach out to several other health departments around Indiana asking that same question: what mitigation efforts, if any, are being done in response to the rise in cases? And we have yet to hear back. We will update you when we do. New information now. The CDC has officially authorized the Pfizer COVID booster shot for 16 and 17-year-olds. Previously, only people as young as 18 could get that shot. The CDC director said today, while we don't have all the answers on the Omicron variant, data suggests that COVID-19 boosters help broaden and strengthen the protection against Omicron and other variants. At this time, only the Pfizer booster vaccine is authorized and is recommended for 16 and 17-year-olds. And this tonight from the Fishers Health Department, you must now make an appointment for any COVID vaccine or booster shot at the Fishers Mass Vaccination Clinic off of 116th Street and Brooks School Road. So no more walk-ins there for now. The reason? The Fishers Health Department has a shortage of needles and syringes, so they expect the shortage to be temporary and will post an update once they can allow walk-ins again. To sign up for any COVID shot, you can make an appointment through the website ourshot.in.gov or by dialing 211. That's also where you can sign up kids between the ages of 5 and 11.
Now tonight to another appeal from the families of 2 Delphi teens killed in 2017. They need your help. This comes just 2 days after state police released a video message that they are interested in a person using the social media name Anthony_Shots. Shots used the pictures belonging to a real model as his profile. The man in the images has nothing to do with the case. Police say Shots used the photographs to entice young girls to solicit nude pictures or get their address in an attempt to meet up with them. The latest development of the social media account is the first major piece of information to be released in this ongoing case in 2 years.
I don't allow myself, and I try to keep, like I said, the whole family kind of in check here. Just saying, hey, there's information coming. I don't know what it's about, but let's wait and see where it leads. You know, I won't get too excited until I get the phone call from the investigative team that says, you know, we've made an arrest, or we're about to, or we have him. You know, that's when maybe I'll crack a bigger smile.
A bigger smile. We all hope that comes soon, which would mean justice for Abby and Libby. Investigators hope that anyone who communicated with, met, or attempted to meet the person behind the Anthony_Shots profile will contact them. The tip line email address is abbyandlibby@cacoshrf.com. And you can also call the number 765-822-3535.
You should feel like you are important enough to get help, because that is the first step.
A mental health crisis, teens and kids struggling more than ever. What one school district is doing to help their students, and the resources available to anyone who needs them.
The countdown is on to next year's Indy 500, but you have to have a ticket to get in. The man whose face will be on that ticket is the defending race winner. We'll talk live with Elio Castroneves coming up on the news at 6.
And I certainly have a more May-like forecast for about 12 hours. We'll talk about a December severe weather threat, what to expect, and the timing coming up.
A mental health crisis. In a rare move, the U.S. Surgeon General released an advisory this week sounding the alarm on your mental health.
It's reported that ER visits for suspected suicide attempts skyrocketed 51% in teen girls and 4% for teen boys as of the beginning of 2021 compared to the beginning of 2019.
Mental health is a problem exacerbated by the pandemic, but also one that started long before the lockdown.
Our Nikki Dimitri heads to Hamilton County tonight to see how one school district is combating the mental health crisis.
I come in here all the time whenever I need any kind of support. This is the place I go.
On Thursday morning, the buzz inside this Hamilton Southeastern High School classroom is all about the stress of finals.
Let us know. What are you at? This is where I'm at.
Students here are part of Bring a Change to Mind.
I don't think I've met a single person in our age group that hasn't had some kind of struggle with mental health at one point or another. A single person.
One thing that was always helpful for me is
the club, started by a student about 5 years ago, acts as a safe space to talk about mental health. They meet once a month.
If a student is struggling and they don't get help, or they don't even feel like it's something normal that they can talk about, it's not going to get better.
Brooke Lawson says the club is one of several ways the district is responding to the problem, one that's only worsened since the pandemic. The HSE Mental Health and School Counseling Coordinator says mental health therapists are at every school in the district.
it's important that students have access to therapeutic services at school. It takes away a lot of barriers.
This week, the U.S. Surgeon General released a 53-page advisory calling for, quote, a swift and coordinated response when it comes to youth mental health, a problem he notes exasperated by the pandemic.
Do you think this is coming too late?
Yes, I do. We as psychologists and then psychiatrists and therapists, we've been bombarded for the past 2 years to the point where people can't get in anywhere. And this didn't just happen last week. This has been going on since the pandemic started.
Riley Hospital's Dr. Hillary Blake says the proof is in the numbers. She notes a 320% increase in hospitalizations at Riley due to suicide attempts when comparing May of 2019 to May of 2020.
It is there, and it is real, and it is a threat to our teenagers.
For Blake and Lawson, the advisory validated what they've seen for years. Experts say there's not one reason behind it all. Instead, factors like genes, the pandemic, and social media can contribute to youth mental health challenges.
I think a lot of the things that I read in there were like, well, yeah, we already knew that. We knew that before the pandemic.
At Hamilton Southeastern, these students say they're thankful for the resources provided by administrators, but there's still more to do.
Ideally, I would want to see this room full of people, but that's not possible sometimes. But it's just so nice to see that people are trying and people are talking about it and people are here to bring our voices out.
Working for you, Nikki Dimitri, WRTV.
Students and experts alike tell our Nikki Dimitri a real change starts outside the walls of the classroom with ending the stigma around mental health.
If you are feeling down or hopeless, help is available for you 24/7 at 1-800-273-TALK. That's the National Suicide Prevention Line. You can also reach a crisis counselor any time of day by texting NAMI to the number 741-741. Find additional mental health resources in this story at WRTV.com.
'Tis the season, a beautiful Christmas display in a local neighborhood. Some of their lights twinkling here, looking good. Are you guys decorated yet for the holidays?
I have to admit, I am not.
You're
I'm behind. But I will be doing that this week. And
Nice.
Yeah. So it really doesn't feel like Christmas out there yet. So maybe that's what's giving me extra time to get it ready.
Yeah, wait until after tomorrow, because I think those of you those candy canes that were there, if you have an inflatable Santa or snowman, you want to take that down.
Oh,
because
good advice.
Our wind gusts will be well over 40 outside of any thunderstorms. This is December. It's unusual to have severe weather, but it's not unheard of to have severe weather during winter months. That's the case tomorrow night. Perfect timing to get the Storm Shield app, because another thing unusual about these storms will be the timing after dark through the overnight when you're more likely to be asleep. This acts as a weather radio, and it will alert you right to your smartphone of a watch or warning. As we go through the night tomorrow into Saturday, there's the strong storm system that will kick up the winds, bring our temperatures well into the 60s, and then open the door to much colder air. But it's also the spark for the line of storms potentially severe. The greatest risk will increase after midnight, but I think arrive during the overnight hours. After dark, we'll have some showers and thunderstorms, maybe an isolated severe storm, and a more organized threat will come during the overnight. Damaging wind, isolated tornadoes can't be ruled out, and then falling temperatures during the day on Saturday, as we'll fall all the way back into the 30s. Look at the surge tomorrow night. Temperatures at 11 o'clock to about 2 a.m. will be in the mid 60s. That sets the stage with the winds then gusting over 40 miles per hour. Any wind-aided thunderstorms will push that. Severe limits are 58 miles per hour, so won't be surprised at all to see some severe thunderstorm warnings. These storms will have the potential to rotate, meaning the potential will be there for isolated tornadoes with some of these individual cells that develop. Flooding will be a potential on a localized basis, but I think the storms are moving so quickly they won't have a chance to produce tremendous amounts of rain in any one spot. Again, evening thunderstorms tomorrow, the more likely time for severe storms as we get closer to 11 o'clock and overnight tomorrow night. Much colder Saturday, it says 59, but by afternoon down to 39. Then a calmer 7-day and warmer once again next week. Brad?
Kevin, we're here. Hey, it'll be a lot warmer when May gets here. I can tell you that.
I hope so.
Yes. Hey, we're here at the PRI show, Performance Racing Industry. The big ticket here tonight is the big ticket. The 4-time Indianapolis 500 champion is here. I'm going to have you take one big step so we can see this thing. Look at this guy. Elio Castroneves is back here in Indy. Back here, look at that. So what do you remember most about, this was the day after, if I'm not mistaken. What do you remember the most about Monday after that race?
That was incredible. By the way, this ticket, it just captivates exactly what happened. Look, a little more subtle, but you can see exactly how the race finished. A little bit of the Firestone tires in the side pod. You know, there was a fight. 2 laps to go. We were able to make this incredible move, and we were able to be part of history. And that's what I enjoyed, because this ticket represents history. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to hold it not as a ticket, but it's to save for many, many other generations. And I'm so proud to be part of this history.
171 days till you get to go for number 5. So not to count it down or anything like that. I got to ask you, you talk about the history. The kid over here that won the first one 20 years prior, what does this guy tell this kid about what his life's got coming for him?
I tell you what, this kid has big dreams, and when you dedicate, work hard, it just showed to the other guy that dreams come true. And if you have that passion, that dedication, and love what you do, no matter what it is, it's going to come out in a good way.
So cool to see all 4 of these tickets here, the 2002, 2009 winners here as well. How's your excitement level for this new season coming up and this deal, and quite the team you got going here?
Huge. I'm super excited with Maya Shank racing again. You know, AutoNation Sirius XM group, it's getting better and better. Now I have a new teammate, Simon Pagino. We're going to work together to go to the next level. It's great for him to bring in different information so that it can help me out for not only continue what the team have, which is this incredible energy, but now every race weekend we'd be up there. So looking forward to a 2022 will be fantastic.
Chance for one of these maybe right here?
Absolutely. I mean, there was no way we would be here thinking that. Now I tell you one thing, when we did this year, not many people believe it except our group. Now a lot more people believe, and this is why it's going to be a lot of excitement for 2021.
It'll be a lot of fun to watch. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. All the best, guys.
Great offseason. Elio Castroneves here at PRI. A few more headlines here from your Thursday. We got a couple things to cover here real quick. The Pacers will be home again tomorrow night. Practice canceled today, though. Coach Rick Carlisle and health protocols. Some COVID going around the team. We'll keep an eye on that. Some other racing news real quick. Tacoma Sato will race with Dale Coyne next season. Sage Karam and Santino Ferrucci will be with Dreyer and Reinbold Racing for next year's Indy 500. And Purdue, #1 for the first time. We got our first look at the #1 Boilers tonight at Rutgers. We'll show you some of that coming up tonight on the news at 11. A lot of fun over here. More from Elio coming up for you tonight at 11 as well. We will see you soon. The news at 6 continues next.
A quiet night tonight with fog developing in the morning. Then tomorrow night we'll keep our eye on the radar for severe weather potential. We'll have all the details, but just don't want it to sneak up on you. That's late tomorrow night after sunset.
And that could be rare.
Yeah, unusual.
In December.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. That does it for us here at 6.
Stick around for world news and then the news at 7. Have a great night.